Okay, see, this is the Suez Canal in Egypt, and as you know, right behind me is a big ship going through the canal, and this canal is very important because they building this canal is to save the big ships going all around Africa. And even in the olden days when the pharaohs were around, they said, let's build a canal in Suez.
Fabulous. Should we take a film of the actual boat going through? Look at this. Look at all those big containers on it. I wonder where this one's from.
Or that. We can get a very good look at it now.
The canal's about 163 kilometers in length. It's made up of two parts that meet at the Bitter Lakes, which is more or less the center of the canal. And the canal isn't really wide enough for it to be a two-way traffic canal. So what happens is that this boat will go all the way up until it gets to one of the lakes, and then it will pull over to one side, and it will allow the southbound traffic to pass it in convoy.
Mom, what are you doing?
And then it'll continue on its way.
Mom, what are you doing?
You know the ship here?
Yes.
And
You see this big ship is the container. It's got evergreen, it's got a talia on it. And you see this little boat here coming up at the rear? That's actually, they're actually a couple of police boats. What they will do is go on board this ship and check passports of the crew and maybe do spot checks of the containers to make sure that the load fits accurately the description that was given to the Port Authority of what's on board the ship. Each ship has to pay on average 200,000 American dollars for the use of the canal. A passenger ship is about 150,000 American dollars, whereas a fully loaded, largest of the container ships can be up around $300,000. So on average about $200,000 per ship, and about 70 ships a day pass through the canal. So it's not a bad little earner for the Egyptian government. However, it would also cost a lot to maintain. There's another police boat coming up the rear. I think they have about 20 minutes between each boat that goes through. So just like aircraft coming in for landing, we'll probably see another boat coming into the mouth of the canal in about 15 minutes' time. We're standing on the Egypt Port Suez side of the canal. On the other side is the Sinai.
Is it going faster that way? Let's see who wins.
I wonder what this one's going to be.
Well, whatever it is, it's very fast. Yeah.
Look, and there's another boat further out,
Yeah.
ready to come in. Oops, wrong way. can see they move at quite a pace. And what's interesting is that unlike the Panama Canal, where the boats are actually ushered through by small pilot boats, these boats actually go through on their own power, and it looks like they're going quite fast. In actual fact, they don't do more than 8 knots, and it's the fact that they go this slow. It actually doesn't look that slow to me, but apparently because they are going slow, there's no wake, which means that there is no erosion to the side of the canal, because as you can see, the other side of the canal, which is that much vaunted little piece of dirt called Sinai, possibly the most fought after piece of land in the world, it's all sand, so it would be very vulnerable to erosion. Here you have a barge going out ahead of a dredge, and that would probably be to carry out routine maintenance work on the canal. They are actually in the process of refurbing the canal in such a way that by 2010 it will be able to take super tankers. So that must mean that they're making it deeper or wider at some point. And that's probably what those two are heading out to do. Here's a little pilot boat. And that's the next customer. That's the wake that's not meant to happen. But actually, that was from the pilot boat. Here's the ocean liner going past, not ocean liner, but the cargo vessel. The cargo vessel without its cargo. You can see all the little spots where the containers are meant to go. So here you can see the cargo vessel without its containers. And once when we were watching a documentary about the Panama Canal, it had a guy sitting in Hong Kong actually, who had a computer program who worked out exactly where each container should go on the ship and the cost of that container. It looked amazing because he had a computer simulation of it. And some of the containers could actually be refrigerated, and they're the ones that connect to the wall side, so that when they're transporting seafood and stuff like that, it can be on it. The next boat that's coming through will be loaded.